What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. So today I want to cover what items and specific supplies you're going to need to start an Amazon FBA business. So first and foremost, pretty self-explanatory, is tape. Now, why tape? When I first started, I used just normal tape, like literally right out like the drawer. Like I would just pick tape and I would tape on labels. Horrible idea. Number one, it doesn't hold boxes well together, obviously very well. And number two, it's not going to really be, something that you want to trust to send your products in with your labels on into FBA, because God forbid one of those labels falls off, or God forbid, your box opens up in shipment. You're out however many products, that you send in, and you're out the money and potential revenue for those products. So invest in tape. It's very, very cheap. Obviously, what I like is this packing tape right here, the Scotch Heavy Duty. And you can basically buy a six-pack of these. I've bought, I don't even know how many, like 40 of them now. I always re-up on these. They're incredible, super high value, and I highly recommend that you get them. You can get a pack of those for $13.99, although you can check Slick Deals. Quite often I check Slick Deals and they're like 50% off coupon codes on Slick Deals. So just go over to Slick Deals if you plan on buying the tape. Check to see what they are. Sometimes they fluctuate. It can be anywhere from like $9.99 sometimes all the way up to like $17.99. So check it. If they're on the lower end, buy it. If they're on the higher end, go over to Slick Deals, type in tape and see if you can find them for a 50% off. If not, then just wait on them or buy them in bulk when they're cheap. That's what I do. I usually buy like 5 to 6 of them. So then that's like 30 of them potentially. So 30 rolls of these, which lasts me a long, long time when they're cheap. So I don't have to buy them when they're 17 bucks. Okay. So first and foremost is tape. Next is Avery Labels. Now, Avery Labels, let me grab them. They're under a bunch of stuff right here. Avery Labels look like this. Okay. They come in a thing like this, and let me flash them up on right in front of the camera right now. You can see that I've used this side right here, and they're basically just little labels that you literally put this paper into the printer, just like a normal piece of paper, and then it prints out each individual SKU and ASIN and barcode scanner. Then you can literally peel these off, right? So you peel one off, and boom, just like you would see the ASIN for like on normal products, and then you just, boom, slap it on your product, and that's how you do it. So Avery Labels is gonna make you look a lot more professional. It's gonna save you a lot of tape, obviously. And it's really just a better way to do it, in my opinion. And it would be one thing if they were expensive, but they're not. They're actually very, very cheap. You can get 30 labels per sheet and 25 sheets. So 750 labels in total for $8.97. Highly recommend that you do that. It's gonna save you a lot of tape, time, and make your life a lot easier, okay? Next is a scale. So there's two ways that you can basically use a scale. I have this scale right here. I use this one. It's very, very easy. It was $25.99, bought it on Amazon. Now, this is one of the things that if you're scaling this up to any certain degree, I would definitely recommend the tape. Obviously, that's a must. The Avery Labels are not a must, but I recommend them to if you're planning on scaling up to any certain degree, or even like if you're shipping in like things like books or a lot of products. Definitely going to make you a lot more professional looking, and it's going to make the presentation of the product and the customer's perception of that product a lot better. So this would be like, you don't need it, but I recommend it. Scale you don't need, okay? So it definitely can make your life a lot easier, but you can also use, if you don't want to go ahead and grab a scale like I recommend here, you can just use the normal scale. Everyone has a bathroom scale. I use this scale literally, well, almost dropped it. Use this scale for like 2 years almost before I ever bought another scale. So all you do, you hop on the scale, weigh yourself, right? Write it down. Then you hop on once with the box, right? And then you take the difference and boom, you know what the box weighs. So you don't need a scale, but I recommend it. It's going to make your life easier. But if you're kind of on a low budget, or you're really like really thin margins and you're just starting your business, you don't need the scale. You might want to save that $25 or $25.99 to maybe invest in some more products, okay? So next is boxes and poly mailers. So if you're smart, and especially if you're doing a lot of coupon arbitrage, or you're doing a lot of cashback arbitrage, or you're buying a lot of books or anything like that, right? You can just simply reuse Amazon boxes. Now, I have literally maybe like 200 boxes, all different shapes. I never throw them out, all different sizes. I never throw them out. I literally break them down like that, and I save them in a corner over there. That way I don't ever have to buy boxes when I'm shipping something into FBA. I just go find the right exact box that I need. Boom, I have a free box, and I use that to ship back into FBA. Now, I also recommend poly mailers because for me specifically, when I'm shipping in a lot of books, every once in a while, it's going to break down your shipment into like, okay, you send like 50 books in at once. It's going to break down your shipment for some reason into like 45 in one, in one box, 1 in another, 2 in another, etc., etc. So I recommend poly mailers, and you can get poly mailers super, super cheap. And I think they come in like packs of like 100 for like roughly $10.59 is what I spent on my last one, but you can buy way different sizes. So to give you an example, here's one right here, a bigger one. Here's a smaller one, right? And you just slide the book in, and then if you have a bigger one, for example, slide the book in, fold it down, tape it, boom, and you can mail it into FBA with the poly mailer, okay? Super, super easy to use, and these also double for when you sell on like Poshmark or Mercari or eBay, right? It's gonna make you look a lot more professional when you're shipping your items out, so you're not reusing. You don't want to reuse Amazon boxes or like household shoe boxes, which is a major mistake that beginners make when they're starting a business, not just for Amazon FBA, but shipping out for like Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay, right? You don't want to use things like this because it looks super unprofessional. So then you can buy poly mailers super, super cheap, right? So you're getting 100 for like 10 bucks roughly. So it's however much that is. I can't even do the math right now. I'm not even going to try. And then you can use these obviously to ship your one-off books into FBA when you get a random shipment that tells you to ship one to a random location, right? And you can also use them to double to ship your items out through Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay. It's going to make your customers a lot more happy. It's going to get you better ratings, which is going to rank your account. But that really, really, really is going to go a long way to help you succeed in the long run. Recommend poly mailers, something that you should really, really invest into, regardless if you're focused on FBA or other places, okay? Next is Goo Gone and a Scotty Peeler. Now, these aren't musts depending on what you're planning on doing. So if you're doing like coupon arbitrage, you're doing book arbitrage, I promise you these for the prices that you can get these at are going to, so it's a little over 10 bucks. So I think that's like 11 bucks, 11 something, 11.19 or something like that. So a Scotty Peeler and Goo Gone are going to save you so much time, number one, and they're going to save you a lot of blood, a lot of hard work, and a lot of broken nails. When I first started, especially coupon arbitrage, because that's what I started initially, right? And now especially with books, you'll notice that a lot of times you have to peel off the labels for your boxes. So number one right here, for your boxes, you have to peel these labels off when you're shipping them back into FBA. So perfect example of why you need this. And number two is if you're taking your products, right? And for example, you have like a new book that you want to ship into FBA, but it has somebody else's label on it, or you have a new coupon product and has somebody else's label on it or somebody else's ASIN label. You do not want to necessarily you can put your other label on top of it, but I recommend taking it off first. One of the easiest ways to do it, so you don't have to actually sit there and just pick and pick and pick and try to peel it off and then rip a piece at a time, and then it looks terrible, and you have like bloody fingernails and it's super, super painful and it takes forever. So save yourself a lot of hassle, get some Goo Gone, get a Scotty Peeler. You can get 2 Scotty Peelers for, I think I got 2 for $7.20, so like $3, $3.50 a piece roughly, $3.60 a piece. And then it was $3.99 for Goo Gone. I barely use any Goo Gone when I'm putting this on. So for example, if you're doing it like on a product or a box, for example, right? What you want to do to get this label off is you'd put it flat, you put a little bit of Goo Gone on. You don't need much, just a little. Put it on, dab it around with a paper towel, let it sit there for 5 minutes. What that's gonna do is it's gonna take the goo and make it gone, right? It's gonna remove the adhesive underneath, so then you can come in with your Scotty Peeler, once the goo's kind of settled in, come in with your Scotty Peeler and you just, boom, come in and you just get underneath the one corner, like that, and peel it up. Now, it's not going to work very well right now because I didn't put any Goo Gone on it, but it works very, very well if you just put a little bit of Goo Gone on it, let it sit for like 5 minutes, the adhesive will wear off underneath, come in with the Scotty Peeler, just nick it, peel it right off. Works great on products and boxes when you're shipping into FBA. I promise you, these are a lifesaver. Highly recommend them. Now, last and finally is a repricer. So you don't need a repricer when you're starting at all, okay? You don't need a repricer, but if you plan on scaling up to any certain degree or taking this seriously, if you're sending in a lot of books, for example, if you're trying to get maximum approval, which is something else I've covered. So me specifically right now, I have almost 1,000 listings, and I have right behind the camera about another 500 to 1,000 books to list, which I haven't gotten around to doing yet because I'm trying to hit maximum approval and I need the sales, right? I want to hit all those sales so I can potentially get ungated for brands. So if you're scaling up to any certain degree, or you have even 100+ listings, you probably want a repricer Because if you don't have repricing software, you're going to be wasting hours every day going through manually and checking all your prices to make sure you still have the buy box, or you're still matched with the lowest price, and you still have the ability to sell, right? So save yourself a lot of time, save yourself a lot of hassle. You can get a repricing software for $9.99 a month, one that I recommend, that I use myself. Saves you so much time. You set it up once. It takes you about 20 minutes to set up the repricing software on all your listings. And then guess what? You forget about it, right? You forget about the repricing software, and boom, it just reprices all your stuff so that you either have the buy box or you have the lowest price and you're matching all that stuff, or you can drop it down depending on what you want to do. I highly, highly, highly recommend repricing software.